Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Lab on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're going to learn about the multiple catch blocks and also how to catch all the exceptions in C++. So here in this tutorial for the demonstration purpose, what we're going to do is we're going to build the try block first. So it's going to be try, and here we're not going to have any statements because if we use that divide by 0 again and again it's boring. So I'm not going to use any statements here. We're just gonna throw some exceptions. So for the demonstration purpose it's enough. Alright, then we need to use a catch block. Alright, now in this try block what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw an exception. For example, let's say throw, and we can pass string here, and let's say some exception. So here this string is character type, that's why we're gonna specify the type here if you want to catch this expression. So it's gonna be const and then char, and we're gonna use the pointer, so let's say ERR. Alright, this is the catch block where the control will be transferred when this statement will be executed. So here just say ERR, just print the values, and we're gonna end this line. Alright, now we have only one block here. So for the simple program it's gonna be enough, but in the real case, in the real scenarios, we need to write a lot of statements inside this try block. At that time there is the possibility of multiple type of exceptions. There may be a runtime error exception, or some logical error exception, or some bad alloc exception, like that. So at that time what we can do is we can have multiple catch blocks. So I can copy this and paste it in here. So we're gonna have the multiple catch blocks, and each catch block is gonna contain the handler or the code that should be executed when a particular exception occurs. So here let's say there is a possibility of some exception which is gonna throw some integer object. So here we can have a integer variable, let's say error. So now this second catch block is gonna handle the integer type of errors. So just to demonstrate this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this. So here what happens is when a particular exception occurs in the try block, the C++ is gonna check which catch block it has to call. So for example, in this case, since it is a character type exception, the matching catch block is the first one. That's why it's gonna call the first catch block. So I'm gonna save this just to demonstrate that. I'm gonna build and run this, and now it says some exception, which is the string that we have passed here. And then let's say we are throwing some number here, just for the demonstration purpose. At this time, the C++ is gonna check which catch blocks to call. At that time, it's gonna come to know that okay, the second catch blocks is able to receive the integer type of exception, or this type of exception that we have here. That's why it's gonna call the second one. So if I build and run this, I will get 20 here. Alright, now similarly we can have multiple catch blocks. For example, let's say runtime error, and we can pass some string, and let's say runtime error, and we can have the catch block for that also. So I'm going to copy that and paste it here, and here we need to make these catch blocks to be able to receive an object of this runtime class. That's why it's going to be runtime error, and let's say e, and here we're just gonna call the method by using the e, and it's gonna be e dot what. Yeah, alright, now I'm gonna build and run this, and now you guys can see runtime error. So by writing the multiple catch blocks, we can make our code to handle different kinds of exceptions. So the next thing that I want you guys to teach you is how to catch all the exceptions under one catch statement. So how to do that? So in C++ you can catch all the exceptions under one catch block. To do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove all the statements, and here we're gonna write 3 dots. That's it. Now whatever the exception occurs, this catch block will be called, and here I'm just gonna say some exception occurred, and now I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna build and run this. the C++ is going to call this catch block for any type of exception. For example, if I change this one to throw 20, and if I build and run, the same catch block will be executed. The next thing is when you have a catch block which is able to handle all the exceptions, and at that time what you guys can do is you can write it at the end. So here what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the catch block for the integer type. Now if the integer type of exception occurs, at that time this catch block will be called, and in the end we're gonna write a catch block which is able to receive all type of exceptions, so that if any unknown exception occurs here, that is not gonna crash our program. So here this catch block which can handle all the exceptions will be executed. So now I'm gonna save this, I'm gonna build and run this program. The catch block which is specifically written for this integer type of exception is executed. And now let's say we're gonna throw some runtime error exception. So here it's gonna be runtime error, and we're gonna say something here, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna save this, I'm gonna build and run. Now what happened here is the C++ is gonna check which catch block to call. Since this first catch block can only handle the integer type of exceptions, it can't handle the runtime error type of exception. The only one left is the catch block which can handle all the exceptions, so it is called. Suppose if we had any catch block here which can handle the runtime error type of exceptions, then that block will be called. If none matches, then if we have specified this one in the end, then the catch block which can handle all the exceptions is called. So this is it, guys. This is about the multiple catch blocks and also catching all the exceptions in a catch block. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.